Welcome back, everyone. This is Gamer1745 here, and I'm playing Germany World Ablaze. Oh, what a shocker, shocker, shocker. I'm sure you didn't expect either Germany or World Ablaze. Getting ready to click on this. Well, as you can tell, it is January 1, 1936. Now, I had played fairly far into, not very far in, but a ways into the game already. Now, why am I starting over again? Gamer, don't you ever finish a series? It's been a long time since I have, maybe. That's quite true. Criticism, well deserved. This time, I would say it's Paradox's fault. Uncharted and the World Ablaze team, they do a great job. They put out a healthy flow of versions of games, and if you played a little more concentratedly, a little faster than I do, not yet should play the game faster, plus play it in a few days and not like one day a week for 4 hours kind of thing, it wouldn't be as big an issue. But because I do sort of take a long time, because I want to sort of enjoy this with the audience here, I'm just doing this live, and so it's not as much. And Uncharted does a really good job at having the last major version of it as an alternate, and it's still up there. But Black Ice, and I haven't even checked into this, Black Ice did an update. Not Black Ice, I'm thinking my Hearts of Iron 3 game. No, Paradox with HOI IV did a update to HOI IV, and I don't know what changed in it. Last week, both these versions were effed. Don't know how messed up they were, but messed up they were. I don't know if I were to go back and use the save with, like I was saying, Uncharted does a really good job at having the older version there. It's a minor update, can't even tell it by the numbers, but is it compatible? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it looks compatible, and then you get ways down in the rabbit hole and it's not. And I don't want to be unfair to World Ablaze, don't want to be unfair to everybody here. And so, yeah, starting over again. Hopefully there won't be an update here. And normally Paradox puts older versions up, but they didn't, to go back to, they didn't for this. So yeah, so we're going to continue here. Now, I think I'm ready to play, because I don't think there's any major changes from the last time. So, but I am going to take some of the stuff that I remembered learning from my earlier playthrough of advice on. One of them was very strongly advised to just build military factories, or primary military factories, where I like to do a lot of civ factories starting out to be able to pay for things. But I gather with the game, the way it's set up with expansions, that is unnecessary. We will see. Oh, well, okay. That's a little too far forward. Radios, signal company. I guess radar. That will fill all the research slots currently. How are we doing on logistics? Okay. Factories are used up. What I want to do here is see what's almost completed. That'll be a lot faster once we get more in. So let's do that. I guess they're the same class. That way, once one of these gets completed, fill up here, here, and then get down to there. Okay. Now, looks like we'll need to trade for some rubber. Good. Take it to heart my suggestion that we should be able to trade heavily with the United States at this time. Why don't they like me? Why don't they like me? America liked Nazi Germany. Hello, Don Ramirez, and World Ablaze Gamer. Okay. Hello, David, and hello, MMDB. Hello all. Okay, well, there are two different mods. It's been longer since if we're talking HOI IV Black Ice, because there is a HOI IV and HOI III, so I'm presuming you're talking apples to apples, as in Black Ice mod. There are different takes on trying to improve HOI IV. The last time I was playing Black Ice, and it's been more than a year, so I don't know how it's changed. I intend to get back and play it again, Black Ice again, though this I know has come out and I want to play it. Black Ice was doing a lot more challenges, if you will, to make the game more challenging, or however, with effects that I think were overkill. That's what got me to rage quit Black Ice. I have not yet rage quit World Ablaze, so that's a good sign. Then no, I don't rage quit most things. Yeah, the Russia situation here, where again, if those who don't watch everything, I was just like into this kind of local area terrain into Russia and getting massive negative impacts. Again, impacts that I would agree, east of Moscow. Yeah, and get successful, be a little bit here, maybe even get harder and harder and harder, deeper and deeper. That was it. Maybe they fixed all that now. So I don't know. I just quite honestly don't know at this time period because I haven't gone back and looked at it. But now that No Step Back is out with the trains, it changes things immensely. I don't know. I quite honestly haven't even checked to see if they've updated the does this get me NATO symbols? Why aren't we having NATO symbols? be removed? NATO symbols? Apply? No. That doesn't do it. Oh, I think, oh, I know, oh, okay. First, let me go back and NATO symbols. I know is for some reason, I remember having to deal with this before. No, not office core, it's here. It's here for some reason, this, I think, but default, default symbol? Yeah. There we go. I just like my NATO symbols. Okay, it isn't update. I haven't checked, and that's one of the reasons I was informed, again by Uncharted, he's a really nice guy, that they're on 10. Okay, well, I don't know if love-hate is the right degrees of a relationship that I have with HOI IV. Way back, literally in the early 1990s, in my head, I was designing a computer game like we have here today when I was playing Avalon Hill's Third Reich. Now, in my head, it was Greater European Theater, it wasn't global. There was a lot of things like that are different than this. So it wasn't literally this, but it was this, in that you would produce weapons that would fill out your counters. Something, hey, Arno, my friend, would fill out, your units, counters as I would prefer them, but however you want to do your units, would fill them out. Things like that were in my head for what would be the great computer game, a version of, the tabletop type transition, what you could do. Hey, thanks for following. Do appreciate that. And so, there's a lot of stuff that they're doing really, really right with HOI IV. But for multiple reasons, I still like Black Ice HOI III better. Some of it may be aesthetic. Some of it is, it has a better map. More provinces in the theaters that you are normally engaged with. So if you come down here, because I've just been playing HOI III before playing this, the provinces are well, yeah, there's more provinces down here, and so it's better down here than it is in HOI III, but it's fewer provinces up here. So what that means is doom stacks. You have less and less tactical finesse to play with. And I think they've primarily gone to fewer provinces here because they've overall increased all the provinces here. And the more provinces you have, my understanding is the more more demanding it is on computer systems. So that is part of the reason. I also think part of the reason is their AI is not that good. Or maybe it's very good, but for AIs, but AIs just can't handle it yet. I don't know which is the answer. And hello, Yeeter Kid, how you doing? I feel the same. Map is way better on 3. Yes, absolutely. So, and I do know, and again, I don't know if somebody like World Ablaze team would want to pick this up, but would somebody please translate this? Hey, IKB, good to have you here, my friend. Translate this map into a 2D map. You can make a 2D map version of this. Please, please, someone make a 2D map version for HOI 4, please. Because then, because I don't know if you know this, I've seen it, they did make a test version of counters like in HOI 3. But because this is a pseudo 3D map, and you can see that some of the buildings are sort of being buried by mountains and whatnot, they try to keep that from happening. The counters were being buried and it didn't work. So if we ever had a good 2D map, like a HOI 3 map, but just image-wise, not necessarily changing any or I'm calling hexes, any territories or provinces, however you want to, I guess that, then we could have the old style counters back. I think I could convince them. I know Podcat's moved on to a different project, but maybe we could convince them to release the counter style that they made. So aesthetically, some of the stuff that I would like, that I think is better, could come back. So, but then, then they come in and they add these wonderful trains. Now these are just, sort of funky toy train model things. Fine. Not what I would do. But the idea that there's railroads going around, that's great. That is great. And I know this sort of shows where the supplies are going. Encounters aren't like in HOI 3. In HOI 4, they are above each other, so it takes up more space. Yeah, but I'm saying is they did, and they released a test version, a photo of a test version of HOI 3 style counters with this, map, and it just didn't look good to do. So if someday someone were to make a 2D map and go, oh, hey, World Ablaze mod has a 2D map option. Hey, can we get the old style counters? Please, pretty please. Can you release that? For modding capabilities or whatever. I would love somebody to do that. And as more time goes on, because I've not been engaged. I used to be a beta tester for HOI 4, before it was released, and for a few years on beyond that, and I'm no longer. One of the guys that was my main contact, he's moved to another project, so I'm losing effective influence there, and I'm obviously not that big of a YouTuber for them to just because Gamer wants it, that they'll do it. But if there's, okay, Arno found some rail that dated to 1896 this week that was still in the track. Well, cool. Are you going to pull it up and replace it with new stuff, but keep the old rail as a relic, I hope, or something like that? Okay. All right. I think even though we don't have a lot of, no, yeah, keep that. This is what I want to hit. Just we'll give a location of over here. Sounds fun. Just to get some stuff in training while we are ramping up production here. Because 1896 is fairly early. It's over 100 years ago, obviously now, but fairly early railroad track for Britain. I know you posted a long time ago the sort of replacement methods that they were doing back, I think it was in the 60s or something, the thing that you posted. Yeah. I ever said how much I hate 1936? Cool year, but I just hate playing it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. know, I recently did a talk about von Kirchler and whatnot. So let's put him in this historical spot because I remember it because I was reading and did a talk on him. I'll eventually change it. I will try and save a bit. Cool. Well, unless they have lots of it just sitting around, I think they would want to save it just as a case of historical significance. That would be cool. Hello, Poop Hunter. I'm back at Triple EA. And welcome here, yes. But also there would be reasons. I would think they would be interested in knowing the how strong, or brittle, or what's the condition of that rail after all of this time. I know if I was why can't we move? Yeah. Yeah, I understand because I do recognize the name Poop Hunter from being around before, for sure. It just I don't keep track, and I did see that it did say it was your first time chat here under that handle, at least numbers like 88 or whatever. Okay, well, we don't need Atlantic Wall yet. Let's do this first. Okay. Well, let's come out here in the Rhineland area and build some factories. We'll get through production here. Well, it says we can modify governments. Hey, Stalin boy, how you doing? Let's see. Yeah, we should have. Well, should we have? Because we're not doing civilian factories so much now. That's my normal want. But getting more political power sooner rather than later is good, so a Rudolf Hess would be good as a sidekick. I don't think most of you know who Rudolf Hess. Well, I don't know who he really was, but I sort of know who he really was. I know that's seeming contradicting statements and all, but Rudolf Hess, this guy here. He was born. School. Okay. School. Okay. The other track components make up that line. Have stamps for September 1944. I think that it was a wartime. You need a sighting. Here you go. Use what you can find to build it. Okay, so you're probably thinking that even some of that stuff was, or the early stuff was in storage or whatever, and they needed, and I guess from what you're saying, it's sighting track, which is you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm going to presume the amount of stress that a sighting will have, that you're moving trains on slowly, versus something that has the stress levels of trains going at speed on it, probably is a lot less. So it's not as critical bit of infrastructure for accidents and serious problems that way. Derailing of a very slow moving train around a rail yard versus out on the main lines of it. I'm sure there's a lot less of a problem. But yeah, and they probably just reused it. But that's interesting. Yeah, that is interesting. Okay, well, let's look at logistics here, and we'll get back to Rudolf Hess in a moment. Okay, this is one thing that I learned with World Ablaze, my first time playing through it, is we want lots and lots and lots of artillery. Okay, I know we're going to have to reactivate some steel mills here, but let's see, well, just to put in 4 artillery factories, and then we're going to come over here. See, I am learning with the help of the some of the some of the World Ablaze players that have helped me out. Thank you guys. No, it's close. Reactivate. Okay, have at least 30 iron units available. So we don't have enough iron. What is going wrong? Okay. Resource map. Well, it looks like we have. Iron. Okay, I don't know. Maybe it needs to take a little bit of time. So Rudolf Hess, he was born in Alexandria, Egypt. His parents were living there for a while. Wasn't just, and he lived there in at least his early boyhood. I don't mean just as an infant, I mean as a boyhood. I don't remember how old he was when he returns to Europe. Well, okay. Well, see, there's, and you're on a little bit of a delay. Okay, no, here, iron. Okay, we are. How do we expand our? Do we need to build more iron mines? I guess. Germany should not be that short of iron. This is where I start coming into problems with World Ablaze. Which do we have? Okay, steel mill, right? Steel mill, don't inactive versus active. So maybe we have to import it. Germany, of course, had plenty of iron. Okay, everyone. I'm not saying there is zero bottleneck with iron, but for the needs of 1936 that the German government could in a practicality had plenty of iron, and had a reasonable amount of reusable steel. So steel was not that big of a problem. Where you find the problem was high quality steel. Yeah, I know I could probably trade. You can trade for more, do some focuses that give you more iron. Yeah, that's what I'm going to have to do. But I was just looking to see iron shortage days left. Our steel mills. Okay, remove. Okay, so I guess we're just going to have to trade for more iron. Because I'm going to, no, I don't want to do that much. Because I'm going to be expanding my steel mills. Once we get iron coming in, I want more than just enough to meet that immediate. Okay, we're doing this. And maybe I should be doing the 4-year plan, but we will see what's going on. So he returns to Europe. So I'm sure growing up in a world that either spoke English or Arabic, and maybe an immediate family and family friends that speaking German was going to be different and an influence on Rudolf Hess. I do understand that he spoke English. He does have the translator headphones on for the Nuremberg trials. So I don't know, shall we say, comprehension level. I do know that, like, when he flies to Scotland. Now, of course, speaking English and trying to speak to somebody in Scotland, I don't know if he understands the difficulty of it. I know I'm giving an asides here and whatnot. I hope they're interesting. Won't get into too much. There's political things in the background, so I'm not going to go there. But me and a friend were driving around lowland Scotland one day. Now, I was American and he was Belgian, though he lived in Scotland and I was temporarily living in Scotland. And we went, and it was the winter time, so a lot of touristy things weren't open. We went somewhere, was checking the thing out, and an old woman lived in a house sort of right next to it. Again, I don't want to go too deep into any of this, and she came out and talked to us. And she seemed to understand us if we spoke carefully, okay? We had a significant difficulty in understanding her because she did not speak English. Now, this was an old woman. This was back in the 90s. The old woman remembers the bombings during the war. World War I, the Zeppelin bombings in Scotland. She remembered the Zeppelin bombings in World War I Scotland as a child. So she spoke, like I say, she did not speak English, but she generally understood English. I don't know that she had a television. She definitely had a radio. So she understood English. She spoke Scots, not Scottish accented English, not the sort of Lothian English that I sort of got, ach, well, nu, which has a fair amount of, and that was a fairly correctly accented bit of Scots that's still spoken there, but it's mostly English with a little bit of Scots words in it. You can, and she spoke very thick, old, broad Scots. Well, when Rudolf Hess bails out over lowland Scotland, I don't know how likely you're to find a farmer that's going to understand his English, let alone English generally speaking. Okay, the more iron focuses are for your... Yeah, I understand that there's stuff, but I was trying to solve the problem now. You might have used the headphones at the trials for people speaking language other than... It very well could be IKB. Hello, Neutron was taken. This is World Ablaze mod. Very good mod. So, yeah. So, you know, when Rudolf Hess does his flight to Scotland, and literally, I mean, he knows he's taking off. And again, I mean, the guy is evil. Okay, we're just let me put it out there. Rudolf Hess is evil. I'm not trying to make it out, but I am impressed with his piloting skills, because he gets in an airplane, yeah, either at night or you know, nearly towards dusk, takes off from somewhere in Germany, a Messerschmitt or BF, however you want to say it, BF 110, I believe it was. It's a 2-seat twin engine airplane, fairly long range, but he knows that it doesn't have enough range to fly from Germany, wherever it was he was taking off, to Scotland and come back. So he knows it's a one-way trip, and he knows that there's going to be no place for him to land this aircraft because it's going to be at dark. But he's able to navigate himself, that he takes off, flies across the ocean, and the Hamilton estate, which is somewhere in, you know, lowland Scotland, he's able to navigate. And now I know you could sort of go, oh, we'll just fly along compass, you know, if you know the right compass heading. Well, understand that he's going this way, and the wind is going from, well, I know when I was out here, you could see the wind by the clouds. It's always going this way here. So the wind is pushing you at a pace. So, you know, if you fly in a straight line, you really go like this, because you get, even though you have the compass heading like this, but you're still going this way, but you meaning you don't turn and go this way, but your natural drift, because, you know, like for every 3 steps this way, it moves you 1 step this way. So as you fly, it does it. So even though you're flying in this direction, so like to get to here, you have to fly to here, you know, as if you're flying here, and the wind will push you this way, kind of thing. Okay, that may not be all that tough, but he does that. But he also bails out very near the estate, so the distance, you know, that whole thing. So he bails out of the airplane, and to be able to do that, and so instead of, you know, these twin engine airplane getting out, so instead of do that, he you know, trying to climb out of the airplane, he opens the canopy, and is flying along, undoes his seatbelt. He's strapped in with a, you know, parachute on his back, rolls the plane upside down, and falls out of it. That's how he bails out over Scotland at night. A farmer does capture him, but I think he was as much looking for the farmer and asking directions as anything else. I don't think he was trying to hide, because he was trying to get in touch with it. Now, there's a lot of kooky stuff going on there. What's Starstreak saying? Hess was behind the center plot to enlist the Loch Ness Monster as a Nazi agent. Well, that might not be entirely far from the truth in some wacky ways, but we're going to get to Hess, the Loch Ness Monster. That's the mythical monster in Loch Ness, which Loch Ness is a very long lake right along here. There is a small stream, but it's like maximum 6 feet deep, going into the ocean. So it's not really connected to the ocean, but it's a long lake here. So it requires no step back, which I don't have. Well, okay, you can check on there whether it requires the DLC. I'm not sure, or just the latest free update. I don't know. I bought the DLC, so I don't know for sure if it requires it. I don't know if they have an earlier version back, but the railroads are a massive improvement. So yeah, I don't know whether, and you can check into that. You can check in on they have a Discord forum. I know you can get into. Yeah, I think it's listed on their Steam page for it, but whatever they say. So I'm not sure. Oh, you quit Discord? Okay. I understand there's several reasons for this. Okay, so let's continue with this. I'm going to ignore spies for this playthrough. Okay, now we should have an excess of iron, which we should be able to reactivate core steel mill. Ah, thank you. Oh, you're doing that. Loch Ness monster, right. Okay, so Rudolf Hess rose up partially in Alexandria, Egypt. He is one of the very early members of an esoteric society. Please, everybody who's listening, understand that I'm going to get some things wrong in what I'm saying here now, because I'm just going off of memory, and it is fallible, so I'm sure there are some details wrong. But in the late 19th century, second half at least, but late 19th century, there's a mystical movement that grows up. New era. Well, we're going to come over here and do the 4-year plan now. Okay, we are going to do some heavy artillery. How are you able to get a... it's called overpaying for it. I paid a lot for it. And I didn't. I bought it through sort of an Amazon, some sort of reseller out of Florida, on the Amazon website. So it didn't come from Amazon itself. It's one of the Amazon marketplace people. So yeah, I got a very nice one, but I spent a lot of money on it. So that's, for money you can get things. Trust me, for money you can get just about anything you want if you're willing, if you have the money and you're willing to spend it. So yeah, no, I definitely was a scalper. Very much new in box. I don't know exactly. I don't know how they got it. They had some sort of business name associated with it, but small thing out of Florida. And yes, I was very worried about, was it going to actually be real or not. So yeah. So there's several esoteric movements. One of them at the core is founded by Madame Blavatsky, Russian name, if you will. And the organization is called the Theosophical Society. She claims in the 19th century... Okay, well, I don't know what the Loch Ness Monster is, but if you look at the... and I've watched a bunch of documentaries on the subject. You look at the amount of life in Loch Ness. Loch Ness is sort of a dead lake. You go down a distance, after a certain distance, it just becomes, what is it? Abiotic or anabiotic or whatever, meaning there aren't all the organisms that consume things like wood. It's similar to the Black Sea. The Black Sea is very old. They found out here down the bottom remnants of human settlements, but including and as in like tens of thousands of years old, including the wood from them, as well as like Roman era, more recent shipwrecks. Because what happened here was it was very old, and I think if not a freshwater, a fresher water, and then this broke through here and flooded over on the top of it. So you have sort of an alive layer, and then you go down deeper and you have a dead layer in the Black Sea. It's really sort of weird that way. So you can go find like old trees that if you put that tree in the water here, it would just, in 30 or 40 years, it would just go away. It would just decompose. So you have that sort of kind of thing with the Loch Ness. So I don't think you could have a plesiosaur or anything that big. There's definitely effects that I've seen in films. But yeah, it's there isn't enough life, abundancy in Loch Ness to support something big. But yeah, star streak. So Madame Blavatsky claims to, and there is some evidence, I believe, that she travels to like Nepal or Tibet, but she gets shown some secret writings, shall we say, tablets or something. I don't know how she read or understood them, but she gets shown these things, and then she brings back this sort of message to Europe, and the Theosophical Society is still alive and still has millions of members. Now, this creates, and I know I'm going sort of deep here. Let me keep the clock going here. There's sort of, and there's different branching offs of things from this Theosophical Society. In the very late 19th century to just because there's one thing that has, I think, a 1919 date or something like that, but to somewhere in the very, because there's proto before it. Yes, I know where I'm going on all of this. Proto-organizations before coming up. There is formed a group called the Thule Society or Thule Society. I'm not sure. Thule or Thule. Thule sounds cooler to me, but I don't know what the correct pronunciation. I've heard both, referring to anaerobic environment, meaning no oxygen, therefore no life as we know it. Yes, exactly. That's what. And my understanding, the bottom of Loch Ness is that way, at least in parts of it. So yes, thank you, IKB. Yeah, like I say, I'm getting stuff wrong here. If you're really interested, you go read a book. One of my friends, Eric, has actually discovered books. He's discovered them, and he, I think, owns 3 that he considers important right now, and he's reading them actually, because he had them for a while and didn't actually really read them, but he's actually reading them now and finding all kinds of things, because he and many other people of his generation thought that everything was contained on this thing called the web, and he's learning that there's more information out there than what's on the web. So if you're really interested in all of this, you should right now we'll give it to Guderian. We'll send Rommel to Spain in a bit here. The water looks, like a cup of tea without milk because it's rot. Yeah, yes. Oh, it does. Things do rot. It does fall apart. Yeah. Wait, Eric. Eric can read. He just hadn't read books before. So yeah, there's coming. It has its roots in the Theosophical Society, but there are several German philosophers that sort of predate the creation of the Thule Society or Thule Society. And their philosophy has a lot of racial elements to it, very, very much so. It's very race-oriented. And this group is some middle-class people, but a lot of sort of elites going on. Okay, well, we need a lot more steel. Can we activate another? Oh, we can only close where... do we not have enough? No, we still have enough. We're going to actually now expand even more trade there. Okay, we are not building enough, but we're building some more. Let's build some support equipment. Oh no, we actually have factory line already opened up. Come up here. Here, okay. Well, just because we don't have enough of the steel, so I'm not gonna. Well, let's just add this here. Let's import some of this from Portugal. Yeah, one factory. How to quick people shock. Okay. So, the 4-year plan. Okay, good. Yep, we'll want to do appoint Herman Goering. And so this group creates this sort of weird mystic racial society. Now they're already in World War I. You start to see the use of the swastika as a good luck symbol in Germany. It does the swastika, again, to give you Madame Blavatsky's Theosophical Society to this day still uses the swastika, but they have theirs going in the opposite direction. So it's sort of like a mirrored image. They've always had it in that direction, as far as I can tell. It is a Buddhist symbol primarily, the swastika. I think it is. Or maybe it's a Hindu originally, but I know it's both used in Hinduism and Buddhism now. No, again, Buddhism is an offshoot of Hinduism, if you will, because the Buddha, I forget his other name, his more terrestrial name, was a Hindu that creates Buddhism. Some probably is a... And then, of course, there's also Native Americans who either had some sort of contact or also developed the swastika on its own. And it's really the Theosophical Society imports the swastika to Europe in any major way. You can see, and I think I have digital pictures of every single attempt for the Nazis to point at something in the ancient, Roman or other world. And you go, this is a swastika. And you go, used here in tiles. And they go, yeah, if I squint and sort of see it, yeah, there's a swastika within that image. Yeah, they're trying to make it out as if it was some sort of ancient European symbol. Really, I believe it is coming from the East. If you want to call it Asia or not, I'm not sure, depending upon your India. Yeah, India is Asia. But so they're the ones that import the, and it's thought to be a good luck symbol, as well as maybe other Hindu. I'm not doing native. I guess what we will start to do here is, because we will need to do this. How long until we get that? Very soon. We'll wait 11 days. So you start to see on a lot of like German helmets and other things at the end of World War I, swastikas put on them. Here are primarily, I would say, as a good luck thing, good luck symbol. Belief in Christianity is collapsing in Europe because of various reasons, including World War I itself. I was thinking, okay, yeah, on their hand in history one time. Okay, well, yeah, people do that. People do stupid things. This Thule Society uses the swastika as its symbol. That got that, and we're going to 41 days is too long. Okay, well, I guess these are just so far in advance that I'd rather another 36 technology that I can just do. Those are all okay. Well, let's do time to Bison. Oh, there's Goering is appointed. Very nice. Okay. So, I'm sort of, well, military slots. I'm still trying to build out more. Let's do. Military pack rearmament. Let's do this, because what I want to do is have some of these research bonuses this time to be a bit more useful. I know I'm making maybe a short story long here, partially because of interruptions, but I think it's a fascinating thing. So you have swastikas coming around and being sort of useful. Well, the Theosophical Society, like I said, it was made up, as far as I can tell, of sort of upper middle class types and sort of elitist types, looking for an alternative to Christianity. Belief in Christianity, like I say, is collapsing because of World War I, and how can a God let all this tragedy happen? And people are looking for answers because you see a very, very strong rise in mysticism around World War I, particularly with people trying to contact dead relatives, often dead in World War I or in the pandemic back then, the influenza pandemic back then. You know, I don't really care about Dutch trade at the moment. Okay, we can do, now we can do Walter Funk. I like to call him Walter Radio. When are you going to test, or when are you going to set up a production line for heavy AA against? Hey, Arno, I don't even have enough freaking steel to produce most of these things I'm not even producing right now that I have in factories. So, wait, Arno, until I get things organized up. Reactivate more things. So this group, I think, sees the collapsing of German society and sees the collapse of the Kaiserreich, or the government, and realizes something, that to have power in the future, to have, don't worry, we're getting to Hess. Power in the future. Okay, we don't need that quite yet. Let's see. Military factories. German Goering Works. Which should get, okay, more steel mills, so let's do that. Decides to set up a political party. So this Esoteric Society. Do we have aluminum mills we can reactivate? You know, decides to have a, we want to import then. Again, I know you've updated this. People, sorry, gamers having a bit of a moment here. And I know maybe, I don't know. And a few people have said, well, why don't you post over in the Discord thread for, you know, World Ablaze or something. Well, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna. I'm taking my time now to comment on it like I did before, but U.S.-German relations were not that bad. Yes, eventually they withdraw their ambassador for a little while. But that was over Germany not sending them money. And that, I think, was 37 or 38. Not sure. this game still has not only has relations here, but also has diplomatic relations. Your diplomatic relations here, but they also have in their a separate sort of trade opinion. There's like trade opinion here, and yes, this diplomatic relations does affect trade opinion, but you can set the trade opinion as something different, meaning they can have good relations and you can make the trades not happen with it. Okay, I don't know what Poop Hunter's going on about. And so I know in an earlier video I presented my evidence of how much trade there's going on right now in June 36 between the US and Germany. And there's also a lot of intellectual trade, meaning like secrets on how to make synthetic rubber are being discussed between Standard Oil and IG Farben, like right now in 1936, or some, sending messages back and forth, or scientists back and forth, and they're doing this stuff. And wages is yes. It's on audiobook. I had to get that audiobook. Is it in the Audible? So I have an Audible account. I'll get that later today if it's Audible, because I have some credits. Because that's Toz's book. I don't know how you pronounce it. What the hell are roll mops? Okay, I don't know. Sauerkraut, ramen, physical herring. Okay. So I will look into that. It's on Audible. Okay. I will definitely be getting it later today then. Don't know when I'll get to listening to it. And look, I know Gamer doesn't control the world. I know just because I have opinions and or just because I state facts, people don't have to jump to what I think should be. But I just think this is ridiculous that Germany cannot trade basic things with the United States. The only thing I found so far, and I've researched it fairly deeply, that America refused to, and literally this guy refused to trade with Germany, was helium. And I know they've opened up the helium reserve now and do trade it, but back then helium was partially because of World War I and the Zeppelins, was thought was a specific national interest. And they did send Hugo Echner, I think that's how you pronounce it. And I have in Third Reich Events, my mod, I have a picture of Hugo Echner shaking Theodore Roosevelt's hand, and he's sent on a mission to get helium. This is after the Hindenburg disaster, to get helium for Germany, and they say no. But that is the only case that I have of America. Now, it changes in 1940 when the war starts, and even though the U.S. is not in it, they're starting to, at that point. But in 1936, there's none of this. It's like the Nazis, well, they're okay. They're not that bad. In the, Franklin, he likes the fascist. Franklin likes the fascist. He doesn't so much like the Nazis, but he likes the fascists. He thinks Mussolini is sort of kind of cool because the commies really take it too far. Let's sort of be like the fascists. And I'm not joking here, people. Now, he maybe not like all their parading in arms, salutes and all that stuff, but he's sort of in favor of the fascists. Yes, I'm going to get that. Okay, yeah, I'm sure I can search on And you may be looking at Audible in the UK, because like I know Amazon UK and is different. Okay, we're going to upgrade these even though we're not producing any because we don't have enough steel. What do I care right now until I get more of this goddamn steel going on? Steel. That knowing. Reactivate core aluminum. Okay. Reactivate core steel. We need more bauxite. So we have 11 days left here. Do we not have enough? No, we still, okay, we need to get more. But really, people, this is way too low of iron. And you know, why am I importing fucking iron from Sweden? I'm not trying to work myself up into a rage quit here, but it's happening. I don't know everything. Okay, people, I really quite honestly don't know everything. But to the best of my knowledge, in 1936, to the best of my knowledge, Germany did not import iron. Well, was it steel or was it iron? Let me look this up before I go too crazy here. Let me get over here. Am I just getting this all wrong? Was it the iron ore or was it? Yeah, no, it was the iron ore. Okay, I'm getting it wrong. It was the iron ore that they were bringing in. Okay, but they were just the reason they brought in the iron ore from Sweden was not that Germany needed the iron ore. It was an important factor in European theater of World War II. Both allies were keen mining district in northeast Sweden. Blockaded it. Winston Churchill, yes. Background. No, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But it was mostly because it was high quality. It had what we believe is tungsten in it. Yeah, it's better for my health, probably. Let's have River War Winston Churchill account of the Reconquest. Ah, yes. I have not read that or listened to it, that either. Reconquest of Sudan, mostly descriptions of how the railway supported the advance was built. I know he also wrote the book about whatever fighting he went up and was part of in here early on. Okay, well, I don't know. We need more iron. It just seems overly much coming from Sweden. And I'm getting frustrated to having to click this damn thing here. Okay, we need more. We need more. Well, what do you know? We need more. This one first. This one is useful, but not right now, really, but we'll do it since we can do it efficiently. Okay, are we yet? How? Okay. How many? Right. Well, you're having fun invading. I want to talk about the crazy man Rudolf Hess. I don't want to talk about having to click iron ore crap over and over and over and over. I don't have 600. I don't know that I need 600. Come on. Don't give me a mechanic and then make me spend all my fucking time clicking and clicking and clicking and clicking and clicking this damn thing. Why do I have to sit here and click this damn thing? And it won't be necessary because I just got this or something, I know, but 42 days, 21 days, we'll do this. I know that looks good, but I don't need it yet because I don't have enough fucking steel. It's not like they didn't know this a week before I started the game. Of course they were importing enough steel then. Okay, well now we have a positive amount of steel finally. Probably too much, but hey, let's import some bauxite. Okay, I guess we can get it from there. How much do we need? Let's do that. Don't know how much bauxite I'll need here. Well, you know, we're gonna save this. And I'm going to end the episode, not the live stream, not going anywhere, but those watching later on YouTube, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for putting up with an angry gamer today. Didn't want to be. Well, I actually was sort of angry having to start this over again. I will admit that. I didn't like start out wanting to be angry, but I started out angry of having to, and I was blaming Paradox for it. But yeah, thanks so much. If you're new here, please subscribe, like the video, everyone. See you next time.